Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla and the new show Overflow, episode 34. Tesla made history once again with the first autonomous delivery. And we are now officially in the second half of 2025, and what a crazy first half it has been. And Tesla also shared their impact report. And we got some great news about Gridscale Batteries and Tesla's homegrown LFP batteries made in the US. And Xiaomi has just released their next monster, the YU7, and it is one hell of a beast. And Neuralink made a very cool presentation. And Waymo's robotaxi got into a crash. And we have seen the first picture of Tesla's Grok integration. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's start right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Tesla had their first autonomous delivery, but they also hit us with their impact report. So I did make a whole video about this historic moment of Tesla delivering the first car ever autonomously. So if you want the deeper dive, check that one out, link down below. But just to be sure everyone knows that this was a real customer, not some employee living just next to the factory as Marcus Brownlee said it would probably be.
Elon says that on June 28th, there will be a Tesla that drives itself from the factory all the way to the customer's house.
This was like so tempted to make another bet. I am so tempted to make another bet.
Yeah, he's not very good with dates.
Yeah,
this is also
probably intentionally.
like 3 days away with that happen. This is when he originally said tentatively the 22nd is when Robotaxi would roll out. It did.
Well, this is only
start
15 days ago that he did this. Not that long.
So maybe they're planning like a specific customer with a specific thing happening.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe someone lives right next to the factory and they're like, we're doing this. It's happening on this day.
They sleep in the factory.
They have an RV in the park.
Yeah, he should really stick to the tech he knows things about, because as the customer Jose wrote on X, they called me on Tuesday and asked if I wanted to be the first customer to receive the car autonomously. Very random, did not expect it at all, and of course I said yes. Also, I am not affiliated with Tesla at all, just a regular customer. And he lived about 35 minutes away from the Austin factory. So this is truly a big deal. This is something no one else is able to do. Not Waymo, not SHOCKS, none of the Chinese, no automaker, none is able to do what Tesla just did. So let's keep an eye on this and see how long it will take before anyone else can copy this feat from Tesla. I don't think it will be anytime soon. We are probably talking about years. But this is what you are capable of when you have made a generalized solution and don't have to map the whole world. You can just drive everywhere in the world, as Tesla has been showing off all year with full self-driving supervised in China, Australia and Europe. And unlike some people that think full self-driving software is unsafe, well, Tesla just released their impact report where they also write, every year 1.19 million people die in traffic accidents globally, with traffic injuring being the leading cause of death for children and young adults between 5 and 29. Very sad. Autonomy will save lives, time and money, all while improving quality of lives for everyone, especially for the vulnerable road users like pedestrians and cyclists. Today, autopilot technology is already 10 times safer than a human driver, and that is according to NHTSA data, just to be clear. And Tesla was the top safety pick plus, and that plus advanced passive safety makes a Tesla one of the safest vehicles to be in. So if you care about your family's safety, get a Tesla. And if you care about air pollution in your city, well, get into a Tesla Cybercab when they start hitting the street, as Tesla also wrote. Our robotaxi network will further accelerate our mission. Cybercab is expected to emit about half the emission of Model 3 and Y and nearly 85% less emission per mile than the average ICE vehicles. That is pretty wild. And Tesla also showed that they do recycle their own batteries, as they wrote. In 2024, we processed enough battery materials to manufacture the equivalent of around 21,000 Model Y rear-wheel drive vehicles, up 136% from 2023. Nice to see, and just like I've showed in my videos like the materials we mine, Tesla also shared this fact: unlike fossil fuel extraction from the earth, battery materials can be recycled. If the world transitioned to a fully electrified, sustainable economy, we could avoid extracting 18 gigatons of fossil fuel every year. And as you can see, a fully sustainable economy materials extraction will be about 6 times less materials we need to mine compared to just fossil fuel. And when we have mined enough, we can just recycle forever. And as Tesla ended, abundance and sustainability are not mutual exclusive. In fact, they go hand in hand. Technology is how we enable and achieve the scale of a fully renewable economy. Yes, indeed. And here is just a little picture of Tesla's complete ecosystem. Tesla, the car company. Yeah, right. And we are now officially in the second half of 2025, and what a crazy first half of 2025 it has been. So Tesla made a lot of new stuff here in the first half of 2025. We got the refreshed Model Y, the new refreshed Model S and X. We got full self-driving supervised rolling out in China without local training. We had Tesla showing off a full self-driving supervised in both Australia, Rome, Berlin, Amsterdam and Paris, even taking on the huge Paris roundabout. Tesla launched their robotaxi in June as promised, and even had their car delivered autonomously from the production line to a customer in Austin. But one thing we did not get was the 2 more affordable models that was supposed to come out in the first half of 2025. But we should probably see them during the summer. We have seen pictures like this one of a Tesla being tested, but this one is a bit more covered than the others we have seen with the refreshed Model Y before. So I don't think this is just a performance version of the Model Y. I think this could be one of the more affordable models. It even covers up the back door handles. So could we be looking at a smaller hatchback with only front doors? Or what do you think? But we should be very close of getting something completely new. Can't wait to see what Tesla has come up with. But how did Tesla do in the first half of 2025? Well, Tesla in China reported 20,700 vehicles registrations for the week of June from the 23rd to 29th. So a huge big push at the end of the quarter. And as you can see here on Roland's chart, this was the second highest week of the year. And as you can see, there has not been any week in the first half of the year for the last 2 years, actually the last 3 years, so probably never, that has been as high as it was last week. Tesla delivering over 20,000 in a week is a rare thing. Even in the second half of the years, that is normally higher. They only had 2 weeks last year where they were above 20,000 in the second half of the year. Tesla has already been above 20,000 2 times, so I think that votes very well for the second half of 2025 for Tesla in China. And Tesla delivered just over 15,000 of the new Model Y vehicles to customers last week, the highest since the launch of the Model Y. So it seems like the Model Y is really getting some momentum. So it seems like Tesla is doing quite well in China, only down 4.5% in the first half of 2025 with a complete lockdown of the Model Y production line. And Tesla spent 6 weeks from ramping up production to the new version's first delivery. So that is a long time you're not producing one of the best-selling cars in the world, and they only dropped 4.5% or less than 12,000 units. After all of that, I still think that is just very impressive. But just keep in mind, we will no doubt see the haters and doubters and critics and mainstream media come out next week in the beginning of Q1 showing Tesla sales has crashed in China, as they usually do, as the first month of a quarter is an export month. And in Taiwan, Tesla's Model 3 and Y vehicles topped each of Taiwan's imported luxury brand sales ranking in June. We have really seen some ramp up of Tesla sales in many places, just like in Europe, where Tesla ended the first half of 2025 with the Model Y being the best-selling BEV in Europe. So congratulations on that achievement for Tesla. Even though Tesla shut down the whole Berlin factory as they only produced the Model Y, they still ended up with the best-selling model. Volkswagen took the title of the best-selling EV brand in the first half of 2025, but Tesla came in second. But if we look at June with the numbers we have available, we do see, just like in Taiwan, Tesla sales are taking off, and both the Model Y and the Model 3 are the two best-selling EV models in Europe in June, and Tesla was even the best-selling EV brand. And we got some great news about Gridscale Batteries and Tesla's homegrown LFP batteries made in the US. Elon shared this post. Gridscale battery packs allows greater use of existing power plants by storing energy during low demand times and releasing when demand is high. And Mario shared Elon's post and wrote, "Batteries are quietly carrying the grid while everyone sleeps on them." Grid batteries in the US are exploding in power, from under 2 gigawatt in 2020 to nearly 30 gigawatt by 2025. In June, California's battery packs supplied 26% of evening demand, more than gas plant. They charge up when power is cheap and demand is low, then kick in during peak hours to avoid blackouts and price spikes. They are also way cheaper than gas turbines, stabilizing voltage and frequency in literally milliseconds. Oh, and they delay billion-dollar grid upgrades, saving money while keeping your social running and grandma's fridge cold. Every utility wants them. The market's growing 27% a year, and the US need more to stay competitive, because in energy, having backup isn't optional. It's survival. And Elon reposted and wrote, "Exactly." And at the same time, Tesla shared that they are nearing completion of their first LFP battery manufacturing factory in North America, so at the Nevada factory. So this is very, very cool. So this is not in collaboration with a battery manufacturer like Tesla is doing with the 2170 cell with Panasonic in Nevada, or like Ford is doing with CATL for their LFP battery made in the US. This is Tesla being the battery manufacturer, just like with their 4680 cells. This is 100% Tesla, and Elon Musk also tuned in and wrote, "Vital to America." What Elon means is, of course, that making LFP batteries in the US is crucial for reducing US dependency on China battery import, enhancing domestic energy security, and supporting the transition to sustainable energy by lowering the cost for electric vehicles and energy storage systems. As Sawyer also pointed out, the factory is a big deal. Most people don't even know Tesla was building its own LFP battery cell plant in the US. Right now, Tesla imports all LFP battery for its Megapack product from China. Building them locally will reduce geopolitical risk and potentially lower cost, as some Tesla plants suggest its own LFP design could be cheaper than even Chinese-sourced one. We of course don't know what the battery will be used for, but most likely battery storage. And this will of course start out small, but if this is successful, there is no reason why Tesla should not scale this up fast, as this should be the cheapest battery for Tesla to get instead of buying from CATL for their Megapacks today. So very, very cool. Some are saying that the factory will be able to produce 10 gigawatt hours to begin with when fully ramped. If that is the case, that will be enough to supply 25% of Megapacks made in Lathrop. And Xiaomi has just released their next EV, the YU7, and it is one hell of a beast. Xiaomi, which released the SU7 last March, their first ever EV, which became a huge success, has officially launched its second car, the YU7 SUV, and has ranked in 200,000 orders in just 3 minutes. That is crazy. But Xiaomi followed that announcement up with a post sharing that the latest SUV has received almost 300,000 orders in the first hour by sharing Xiaomi YU7 sold over 289,000 units in 1 hour. Oh, that is very, very impressive. So this is Xiaomi's big competitor to the Tesla Model Y, with very good specs all around, like acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 3.2 seconds, and a range of up to 835 kilometers, CLTC of course, so that is probably about 350 miles EPA range, but still very, very good. And the all-wheel drive does come with a huge 100 kilowatt hour battery, so going to be a little bit more expensive to fill up, but it will fill up fast. It can do fast charging, where it adds up to 620 kilometers of CLTC of course, but in just 12 minutes. Very impressive. And the price is very good as well, just like $1,500 cheaper than the Tesla Model Y. So this is definitely a car to keep an eye on, just like the SU7 was. And sure, most people are going to call this one a Tesla killer, but I think history has shown that competition is not really hurting Tesla sales much, but is devastating for the legacy automakers. So the old guys should be shaking in their boots, as this phone company has just come out with yet another category killer. Lucky for the legacy automakers, Xiaomi is still only selling cars in China, but that will of course change over time, and that could spell trouble for the old boys. Unlucky for someone like Porsche that is already struggling badly in China. The YU7 might take whatever small numbers of the Taycan Macan they are selling, as Porsche in all of 2024 sold just 57,000 units. And the YU7 has just got 200,000 pre-orders in 3 minutes. So the two model Porsche is selling, Xiaomi is coming for a fraction of the price. Don't think it will be too long before Porsche is completely gone from the Chinese market, as it can't really compete with Xiaomi on performance and definitely not on software. But the Taycan Macan costs from $126,000 and the YU7 start around $35,000. Can Porsche's brand really handle an almost 5-time increase in price? Well, we have seen that people are not really that brand loyal when they shift to EVs, so I don't think Porsche's brand can handle this kind of competition in China. But let's see how the second half of 2025 will play out. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. Apparently, Tesla's Model Y didn't become the best-selling car in 2024. It lost by about 2,000 units to the Toyota RAV4 according to new figures from Yato Dynamics. But Tesla Model Y was still the second best-selling car by unit sales in 2024, still not half bad. And Jeremy from Tesla wrote, "This is what it's about," sharing this video where Tesla Dashcam wrote, "A truly heartwarming moment. Grandma drives again after 10 years thanks to Tesla's full self-driving. This is what real-life impact looks like. Yes, the demand for these cars is going to open up a whole new market that has never existed before. Car ownership for people that don't dare to drive anymore or can't. People that would never have bought a car before can get a Tesla now, as it can drive you everywhere." And even though we only hear bad stuff about Tesla's robotaxi in the mainstream media, and never really when it is Waymo, well, it can of course be so bad that even the mainstream media can't keep away, like this accident that no safe words shared on X. Waymo's vehicle illegally crossed double yellowed and struck the horrified victim. Then it started driving again, smashing more of the stocked vehicle. The reason for this particular story? We learned that the police in Arizona do not issue tickets or fine when Waymo vehicles are at fault in an accident. Is this the correct police response? America's #1 safety expert in the category of autonomous vehicles, Dan O'Clown, has reported to this critical safety failure with the following statement: "Tesla bad." Yes, I bet we don't hear anything about this from Dan, and maybe Waymo just need more LiDAR, because according to Jim Farley, LiDAR sees everything and therefore is mission critical. So I guess this Waymo robotaxi just need more LiDAR. But if you want to see what a full self-driving car can do without LiDAR, well, Nick shared this video and wrote, "Tesla's full self-driving is driving me across the country. No LiDAR, no radar, and no pre-mapped areas, just pure vision and real-world AI, over 1,000 miles without any interventions. Waymo's robotaxis was never meant to be able to do this kind of cross-country travel, so I will bet that we will never see a Waymo doing a trip like this. And yes, it is still supervised, but no intervention, so almost as good as unsupervised. It's only a matter of time. But Nick also shared yet another video of Waymos getting stuck and here in some water. I guess more LiDAR won't solve this one, but as Nick wrote, maybe a sonar would be preferred. Or simply, a more intelligent system would be able to get out of this situation. And Zach wrote on X, I love how when you walk up to the Tesla robotaxi, the light pulses so you know it's your ride. Really nice touch. And Green the Only shared some found software from Tesla as he wrote, I decided maybe I needed to be a bit less lazy and show you some Grok goodies. Now time to figure out how to connect the microphone and take some actual decent picture or screenshot of some sorts. Grok currently requires premium connectivity and pairs into your existing account. So it seems like we are getting closer to getting Grok into our car. Can't wait to test it out. And let's end off with a little clip from Neuralink's presentation. I highly recommend watching the whole thing, which is a very interesting, just insane what the Neuralink team has been able to achieve and is working on. But here is just a little clip of them talking about the brain implants and the Tesla Optimus robot.
Fortunately, we have connections with Tesla, who have the Optimus hand, and we're actually actively working on giving Alex an Optimus hand so that he could actually control it in his real life. And here's an actual replay of the end of that video using Alex's neural signals on an Optimus hand. Sean, if you want to play that. Yeah.
Actually, let me maybe add a few things to that, which is, as we advance the Neuralink devices, you should be able to actually have full body control and sensors from an Optimus robot. So you could basically inhabit an Optimus robot. It's not just the hand, the whole thing. So you could like basically mentally remote into an Optimus robot and be kind of cool. The future's going to be weird, but pretty cool. And then now, another thing that can be done also is like for people that have, say, lost a limb, lost an arm or a leg or something like that, then we think in the future we'll be able to attach an Optimus arm or legs, and so you kind of like, I don't know if you remember that scene from Star Wars where Luke Skywalker gets his hand, chopped off with a lightsaber, and he gets kind of a robot hand. And I think that's the kind of thing that we'll be able to do in the future, working with Neuralink and Tesla. So that it goes far beyond just operating a robot hand, but replacing limbs and having kind of a whole body robot experience. And then I think another thing that will be possible, I think is very likely in the future, is to be able to bridge the where the damaged neurons are. So you can take the signal from the brain and transmit that signal past where the neurons are damaged or strained to the rest of the body. So you could reanimate the body, so that if you have a Neuralink implant in the brain and then one in the spinal cord, then you can actually bridge the signals and you could walk again and have full body functionality. Obviously, that's what people would prefer, to be clear. We realize that would be the preferred outcome. And so that even if you have a broken neck, or you could still, we believe, I'm actually, at this point, I'd say fairly confident that at some point in the future, we'll be able to restore full body functionality.
Yes, the future will be wild indeed. But that is all we have time for in this Overflow News Show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel, or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheets also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching, and until next time, take care out there and be nice.